Ahoy, this is Zdenka. In this tutorial, you will learn step by step how to take time lapses, fun stop motion videos, and film product videos with iPhone 16 Pro. For those who are using smartphone for professional grade photography and video, stock photography and video, for example, products or business. This video is brought to you by iFootage. In this tutorial, I will be using newly released iFootage Shark Nano 2 slider, the upgraded version of Shark Slider Nano that I have also reviewed on this channel. If you just got one, you will learn everything to get you started with a smartphone. If you don't have one, don't worry, you will learn lots when it comes to time lapses, stop motion, and product video. While you will get familiar with this amazing piece of technology, it's a 2-axis motorized slider that can be used with smartphones, mirrorless and DSLR cameras, and it is also compatible with DJI RS2 and RS3 Pro stabilizers for 4-axis shooting. Let's jump right into time lapses and explain how you can capture videos like these. The slider comes with iFootage Mocco app. Once you open up the app, you will select Shark Slider Nano 2, enable it, and enter filming with a smartphone. Let's select time-lapse mode. The first thing I'm going to do is select resolution and frame rates. I'm going to film in 4K, 24 frames per second. Next, I'm going to go into filming mode. For those who only want to film in automatic mode, you can leave it on auto. If you want to get a motion blur in time-lapse, you need to film in manual mode. Let's switch to manual mode. For daytime, let's drag ISO as low as possible, that is 25. Let's bring the shutter speed as low as possible to introduce the motion blur, that is 1/25. I'm going to select white balance for sunlight. As the image is very bleached, I need to use an ND filter to block the light. If you are filming time lapses at night, you don't need to use an ND filter as it is dark already. You will have to actually increase the ISO so the picture is not too dark. Once this step is done, it's time to program the slider moves. Let's hit this icon and unlock the slider. This will allow us to grab this part and move it around. I also have to delete A and B points. Let's position the camera where you want the slider to start, point A. I'm going to press A. Now I'm going to move it to the end point, that is B, and press B. I will also hit the lock button. Now it is locked, I cannot move it by hand anymore. The last setting here is the output time and interval. Output time stands for how long I want the final video to be. Let's just select 9 seconds. Interval tells the camera to take a photo every 1 second, 2 seconds, and so on. 1 second is for fast-moving objects, such as cars and fast-moving clouds. The slower the movement, the bigger number of seconds you have to select. So for example, if the clouds are going a little bit slower, then you might go with 5 seconds, and so on. I was filming cars, so I had it set to 1 second, as they were moving quite fast. Once you are done, you can hit the preview to see how the movement is going to look. And once you are ready, press the icon to get it to the first position, and then press the play icon to start recording time-lapse. Once it is done, you will get results like this. Let's create a quick stop motion video. Let's hit the stop motion mode and again, tap this icon that controls movement of the slider. Let's unlock the slider and move it to position A. Once the framing has been positioned, let's press A. Let's move it to point B and hit B. So now we have the movement programmed from point A to point B. Once we hit B, you will see one more setting, that is the output time. Let's say we want the final stop motion to be 8 seconds long. I'm going to set my preferred resolution and frame rate which is 4K at 24 frames per second. I'm going to keep the white balance on sunlight. I'm also going to film in manual mode. As I'm filming in 24 frames per second video, I will double up the shutter speed to 1/50th and select the appropriate ISO. I have plenty of light here, so I can bring it down to 25. Now that it is done, let's hit the preview icon that will show the program to move. Once you're happy with the movement, bring the slider to the starting position. This number at the top means that we have to take 192 images to create 8 seconds long stop motion video. Everything is set. How do we record this? You will press record, position your objects, and take the shot. Then simply change the position of the items, make sure you hit the next slider movement position, and take the shot again and repeat. Nice thing about this app is that once you change the position of the subject, you will see it as an overlay on the screen, so you know that you changed the movements in case you forgot which object you moved if you are moving a few of them. I didn't do full 192 frames as that would be very time consuming. Here is just a very quick stop motion with only 50 frames. The last mode to cover in iFootage Mocco app is the video mode. I have a product here that I want to show. I already showed you 2 times how to program the slider movement, so I'm going to skip that part because I think it's quite clear now. The slider will keep doing the same move from one side to the other to keep the product in the middle. The only setting I'm going to change is frame rate, so let's go there. I'm going to select 4K at 60 frames per second, as I might decide to slow down the footage as I will be working with smoke. This will give me the flexibility to either keep it in the real speed or slow it down 40% in the post. Naturally, since I'm filming in manual mode, I have to change settings there as well. As it is 60 frames per second video, I have to double the shutter speed, so the closest I can select is 1/125th. I'm also going to bring ISO this time a little bit higher until I get the picture exposure where I want it to be. The highlights shouldn't be overblown and the shadows shouldn't be too dark. Let's take the shot. For those who are wondering, the smoke machine I'm using is by a company called Timelapses. I had it for a few months already. It has modes such as fog, smoke, but it has one mode that none of the other smoke machine can do, and that one I'm using today. It's called dry ice. It has this special attachment that makes the smoke spill on a table and just crawl as dry ice would. It has a remote as well. It's a really great tool to use to create a cinematic feel. I was filming here in the basement studio. It didn't trigger the alarm, smoke alarm, which is right here. I had windows open though. There is a very tiny smell to it, so that's why I had the windows open. I'll link it below for those interested. You will surely see me using it more in future tutorials. If you want to film in native camera app or third-party apps such as Blackmagic because you want to film in log profile and not to use the iFootage Mocco app, you certainly can. The slider has manual control, so it doesn't have to be used with the app. Once you power on the slider, you will just select one of the modes offered: video time-lapse, stop motion. It's got also macro mode and panorama mode. If I go to video, for example, I can delete the points here. Press the power button and a function button at the same time to unlock the slider. Move it to starting position. Press A. Move it to end position. Press B. You can get more positions if you like to. Then go to settings and select desired time and speed. All I have to do now is select start. I can also loop the movement, meaning it will keep going back and forth. The slider you are seeing in this video is the shorter version. The length is 466 millimeters. They also have 606 millimeters long version. Both sliders can load up to 4 kilograms horizontally or 3.5 kilograms vertically. There are several accessories included, such as Manfrotto quick release plate, smartphone clamp, and for those using DJI stabilizers for big cameras, there is 6-pin power supply at the base for the P-axis gimbal, so you don't need external cables. The link to this slider can be found below the video in the video description. Here is an important information for those who already own the previous version, Nano 1 slider. If you are thinking about upgrading to Nano 2, all you have to do is email to cs@ifootagegear.com to get 20% discount. Again, this is only for those who already own Nano 1 and would like to upgrade to Nano 2. Give it a thumbs up if you found this video informative, and don't forget to subscribe for more. And perhaps see you in one of those videos next. Ciao, ahoj!